Hi everyone, I'm Needlecraft Danny and I'm back for flosstube number 43. Um, Last video I told you I'll be back after 1 week and now it's 2 weeks later. I'm sorry about that. It's just the week before last week, the week after my video was super busy. I had I think 3 or 4 days without any stitching, which normally doesn't really happen for me. Normally, I am good with stitching, and even if it's a bad stitching day for me and I do not feel like stitching, 100 or 200 stitches I normally do. So 3 or 4 days without stitching is super rare. So therefore, when I get the time to do a video, first of all, I did not have a lot of progress because I had not a lot of stitching days. And second of all, I had not stitched for quite some time and I wanted to use my time for stitching instead of filming. And I actually had 2 days in a row with more than 1,600 stitches, which is a lot. I normally try for about 630. Most times I'm able to do that, but there are also days I don't get that done because it's a lot of stitches. So 2 days in a row with more than 1,600 stitches, that's super cool. And I kind of made up for all those days I did not stitch. So yeah, I kind of feel bad for not doing a video because I wanted to show you everything I did. On the other hand, I really feel good about not filming because I got a lot of progress in. So yeah, I have everything here. I can show you everything I did. I'm really happy with everything I have here, except 1 or 2 projects, but I'm going to talk about that. And yeah, so whip update. And then for July, I thought about some plans, and I'm going to tell you those in the end of the video. Yeah, and next week I won't do a video again. So after this video there will be another 2 weeks pause because this week I'm not going to stitch on a lot, especially not a lot of different projects. But it's also really a super busy week again. So yeah, sorry. And it's already Tuesday. I normally film on Mondays and I wanted to film yesterday. I had everything prepared. I had my camera in place, I had all my projects around me, and I just had such a headache that I did not feel like filming. I instead went to bed. So yeah, that's kind of how it happens sometimes. So I'm already a day late and a week. But nevertheless, it will be another 2 weeks pause before I come back. Just to get that out in the beginning and you know what you're up to. Okay, now let's get started with the whip update. And first, let's start with my travel stitching because that's always what I'm starting with. My travel stitching is the Grimm's Fairy Tale Cell by Clouds Factory. And I don't have a picture what it's going to look like because I'm presently up to date. The next part will be released tomorrow, so I can't show you a picture of what it's going to look like. I'm just going to show you the needleminder. It's by Just Too Heavenly, and then I'm going to put it away. Yeah, this one is stitched on a 16 count 2/1 full cross. It's an Ada by Pictureless Plus in the colorway Jade, and I stitched on this part down here, and I finished this part. So as I told you last time, I'm color completing with this project. So I had this green left with those leaves and yeah, some browns, and I finished the houses with all the back stitching. And yeah, that's where I'm at. It's super cute, but it's not a fairy tale I actually know. I stitch on this one at work from time to time, and a lot of my colleagues know the fairy tale. I didn't. I'm living in Germany, and those are the Grimm's fairy tales, so German fairy tales. But I did not know it. My colleagues did, so okay. Next, we're moving, I think, over here below the Frog Princess. The Frog Prince, sorry. I really hope it's a fairy tale I know. It's a fairy tale I love, because all the others are really fun, and I really like all the others. This one, not so much. I'm not good enough with recharting and stuff like that. I did not even try. I just stitched it, and I'm fine with it. It looks good. But yeah, it would be nice if the next fairy tales were fairy tales I know. There's the whole piece again. So far, it looks really cool. Yeah, and then I finished this part, and I still had a little bit of time for travel stitching left. So I took up my next project for travel stitching. That's the tiny Christmas ornaments, stockings, something like that. It's a Bussola kit. And during Stitchmania, I started 16 of those because I want to finish 16 this year. And the next one in line, kind of. So the next one I'm stitching on or going to finish is this one up here in the middle. So I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So I finished all the cross stitches and half stitches. I had the hay to still complete all around. So that's what I did. And then I started back stitching the lamp down here. Yeah. So probably can see it a bit better. Again, this one will come out as travel stitching as soon as I'm done with part 7 of the Grimm's Fairy Tale Cell. And I'm going to show you in plans. So yeah, I'll tell you about that in a second. Okay, next project I always stitch on every week, and I stitched on yesterday, so I'm close to up to date, is the Temperature Garden by Stitchin' Mommy. So every flower petal resembles one day, and you stitch in the highest temperature that occurred that day. So yeah, I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So the needleminder is from Lakeside Needlecraft. And as I said, I stitched on it yesterday. So yesterday's flower petal is not yet stitched in. And of course today's also, but it got super cold. You can already see it here. We had a few really bright yellow and kind of orange flower petals. So those 2 days in this flower, those 2 days were the highest so far. And then it got cold and we got some green again. This one is stitched on 28 count 1/1 full cross. And for June there are 2 days missing until we move to July. So next week I will have moved into row number 4. Looking forward to that. Yeah, that's my temperature garden. Bringing it a bit closer. So far, so good. That's that one. I'm not going to bring it out in plans again, but of course it's with my plans for next week. I don't know. Every month I have another weekday dedicated to my non-full coverage stitching. So I'm actually not sure which day I'm going to stitch on this one, because I'm not sure which day is my non-full coverage day. So you will see next week where I'm at with that one. And which day I'm going to stitch on during July. Yeah, so I'm not going to bring that one out, but of course I'm going to stitch on it. And then, a day after my last video, I had my birthday, and I told you about it, and I told you that I'm going to start a new project for my birthday. The project is Cinderella Rags to Riches. It's my first John Elliott piece. And I told you last time you can stitch either this one, Cinderella in rags, Cinderella in riches, or you can combine those two. And that's what I'm going to do. So you combine both charts at the window and then stitch it as one piece. That's what I'm going to do. I started in the middle on the window, so in top middle, and yeah, I show you where I'm at. I'm not really happy with that one and how far I got, because that's all I did. One length of thread. This one is stitched on a 28 count casual linen by Picture Disc Plus in the colorway Fog. The needleminder is from Danka Designs, and I did one length of thread. That's not enough. I'm not happy about that. She's coming. I mean, technically, for every project I have, in the beginning of the year, I set myself a goal. The goal for this one is actually reached, because the goal for this one is just to get it started, because it's only my birthday start, and I have a lot of other projects that have higher priority because they're started earlier, and I really love them as much that I decided to just get it started. But one length of thread, that's just nothing. I'm not going to leave it with that. I'm having this one in my July plans, so I'm going to show you, or again with my plans, and I'm going to tell you about that later on. One length of thread is not enough. Even though it's just a birthday start and there's nothing else I want to reach with that one this year, that's not enough. No. I mean, I know there are a lot of floss tubers who actually have projects for years and years and only have one length of floss in there. That's just not for me. I said I wanted to get my whip count down to, I think I said below 20, because more is just too much. Yeah. I'm now at 23, and I think only one is kind of close to finishing. Nevertheless, I just want to get some more progress in before I really pack it away and concentrate on on other stuff. It's just, that's not feeling good for me just to have one length of floss in there. But I'm going to tell you what I'm intending to do in July with plans. Okay, next one is my kind of night shift project, and during June I had a lot of night shifts, so kind of good progress into my memorabilia. This one is Royal Games number 1, and I am stitching it as it's shown. There are a few people who actually stitch 4 cards, so like one card completely Queen of Hearts and mirroring the Queen of Hearts down there as well. But I'm just going to stitch it as it's shown, and I'm presently in the Queen of Hearts. I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. She looks so cool! The needleminders are both from Danka Designs, and this one is a needleminder where you can put your beads and like a tacky bob. I did a lot. I actually stitched on her once at home to bead that color over here, and then move into the heart, stitch the heart, bead the heart, and move into the queue and actually stitch and bead that one as well, and start with the back stitching. She looks so cool. I finished stitching her sleeve during night shift, so that one's done as well. There are a few beads missing, because why not? And I started stitching this side of the dress. There's one color missing, and then I can move into the middle. In the middle, there will be again a whole lot of beads, like they're still missing in here, and as I said, in her sleeve. But before I start beading, there's one line of black stitches separating the 2 queens. Before I really start beading the middle of her dress and her sleeve, I first am going to stitch the black line, because then I can bead and have all the stitches around the beads already done. So before I bead everything in here that's still left to do, I first have to finish, or want to finish, that side of a dress completely, and then start with the black. And then I start beading, and then I can move the back stitch further down. So there's still a lot to do until I'm at a point where I can continue beading. But as I said, I'm going to stitch everything in here on this side. Then I'm going to stitch the black line between the two queens, move the back stitch down on this side at least. On this one, I first have to stitch the part of the Queen of Spades that's touching the frame before I backstitch. So yeah, stitching all of that, continuing down the back stitch after I stitch the black line, and then beading, and then I'm with the Queen of Spades. It still takes a lot of time. This one is stitched on a 32 count white opalescent 2/2 full crosses. I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Last time with the light you couldn't see it, but I think here you can, yeah, you can see it. So she's super sparkly. She looks so good. I'm so happy that I finally started with actually the borders of the card, because now she looks like something, not just a lady, but now she looks a bit like the card she's supposed to look like. So yeah, she's beautiful. She really is. And I can't wait to have some more night shifts and get some more stitching on her done. I'm not sure if I have any night shifts in July. I think so, but I'm not sure. It would be a pity if I don't get any more progress into her finally after seeing so much progress. But we'll see about that. Okay, I think that's all my non-full coverage stitching, and now we can move to my full coverage, which is actually the focus for this year. The first one was the one I told you about last week, Norwegian Ship and the Sail, the small edition by Golden Kite. I told you I wanted to do 251 stitches last filming day, and that's exactly what I did. I did 251, I still had a thread on my needle, and I just left it and moved to another project. But I have finished the national park, and I'm happy with that. I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So those 2 pages were done last time, and I started on page number 9, my third page, down here, and those are 251 stitches. The needleminder is from Danka Designs, and this one is stitched on an 18 count antique white Ada 2/1 full cross. And that's it. A lot of parked threads down here, and I'm going to start stitching them in, and then taking colors and moving further down the column. So yeah, 251 stitches on this one. Okay, and now we're getting to my kind of page finish mania. Not intended, but with the projects I chose and the projects I wanted to get some more progress in. Over the last 2 weeks since I last saw you, I finished 5 pages. That's so cool. The first page I intended for a bit longer to finish, and it took longer than I thought. I'm talking about Colorado Mountains by Golden Kite. I think I told you in 2 or 3 videos that my goal is to finish the page, and I never did it. This time I did. So Colorado Mountains, I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So I finished page number 3 over here. This one is stitched on a 25 count 2/1 10 stitch needleminder from Danka Designs, and I bring it up closer. The coverage is not perfect, but it's fine. And yeah, as I said, I finished page number 3. I feathered a lot into page number 4. Just because it's the sky, there are not a lot of colors, but long rows of colors. So I just continued those, and yeah, I feathered a lot. Next time, I'm going to move down here. It's definitely more confetti heavy than I would like it to have, but yeah, I want to get more of the mountains done because they are the part of the church that I'm not looking forward to because they are so confetti heavy, especially the brighter parts of the mountains. But nevertheless, you can see how many threads are parked down here. So I'm not looking forward to that, but it has to be done, and I don't want to continue just with boring sky, even though I think the next mountain is coming up over here. I want to get some more over here done. Maybe move completely downwards. I think it's only 3 pages high, the chart, so I could move completely downwards and then fill in, something like that. I'm not sure yet. Next page will be this one down here, and yeah, that's that one. Yeah, 3 pages done. Still, I think more than 10,000 stitches to go to reach my year-end goal. So it will come out a bit more often, just because I have to. And I mean, I like this project very much, but I still have a lot of stitches to finish till the end of the year. So yeah, you will see that one a bit more often. Next one with another page finish is Dragon Dancer by Haven't Enough Designs. The artwork is by Anne Stokes. This one is a super massive piece, even though it's not a super sized one. And I started in the top left corner. I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So I finished page number 2. My needleminder broke. So theoretically, that's the front of the needleminder, but there was Teethless, I think he's called, the cute dragon. He was on here, but he fell off, and I decided to just turn the needleminder around and have this one as my front, and it works as well. Originally it was from Dankai Designs. Yeah, so I finished page number 2. I took the next color in the column that was not completed and then just completed it on the page and moved further along into the next page until my thread ran out. Over here, I'm actually in page number 4, so I feathered a lot. Next page, nevertheless, will be this one down here. I'm going to start on this one as soon as I'm going to stitch on this one next. Just to have diagonal pages. I think it will take then to page number 9 or 10 till I finally get into the dragon and the motif itself. Because if I'm going diagonal pages, I'm just going over here and finally hitting some of the dragon. But for now, that's fine. I'm okay with stitching in the background because it looks good. And I'm moving down here next. So yeah, Dragon Dancer. Super cool. This one is stitched on a 32 count 2/1 10 stitch. So yeah, really full. With stitches, really good coverage, and I like how it's turning out. That's that one. Is there something else? No, I don't think so. The next project I stitched on. It was okay to stitch on it, but I'm not super hyped about it. It's a super-sized Max Color cliffhanger. Artwork is by Amy Stewart and it's charted by Haven't Enough Designs. I really, really love the piece and how it's going to turn out. I also like how it's turning out on my fabric, but it's so tedious. So I'm not really enjoying it big time. I did not stitch on it for 2 days. I only stitched on it for 1 day and it was enough. But I think that's going to be how I'm moving along with this one. Whenever my focus piece is done, I think this one will become kind of a focus piece, so that I will have 2-day rotation on something else, 1 day on this one, 2-day rotation on something else, 1 day on this one, something like that, just to give myself the motivation to work on it. Yeah, as I said, I love how it's looking and how it's turning out, but it's tedious. I show you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. So, sorry. This is stitched on a 40 count 1/1 10 stitch, so it's super tiny. Those are actually finished pages, but they just look super tiny. The needleminder is from Denka Designs, and I'm presently stitching on page number 27. And I mean, I made good progress. It's not like it takes years and years to just see some progress. I made good progress. I'm happy with that. It's just really tedious. I bring it a bit closer so you can actually see something. I mean, it looks good, and I want to get some more progress in and continue on this one. It's not like I don't like the project. It's just takes a lot of time. So yeah, that's Cliffhanger. It's actually the only project I worked on, only full coverage project I worked on over the last 2 weeks that I worked on and did not get a page finish. But for a page finish, there's still a lot to do on this one. So yeah. Yeah, Cliffhanger. I'm doing random pages with that one, so it's not intended to go diagonally through the project. I'm just, whenever I finish a page, I have all the surrounding pages in the Tiny Decisions app, and the app chooses randomly my next page. And randomly, both times it was the one diagonally down. So yeah, fine by me. That's where I'm at right now. Okay. And then, as I told you, I had 5 page finishes over the last 2 weeks, and I've only shown you 2, so there are 3 missing. All of those 3 page finishes are on the same project. Isn't that cool? I think it is. The project I'm talking about is my focus piece, Mini Winter Rose by Heaven and Earth Designs, and the artwork is by Rachel Anderson. This is what it's going to look like when it's done, and it's close. It's so close. I showed you a picture of what it looked like last time here. And this is where I'm at right now. She's so close. Okay, bring her a bit closer. She's stitched on a 28 count 2/1 10 stitch. The needleminder up here is from Denkai Designs. And yeah, she's looking gorgeous. I bring the part a bit closer that I actually stitched on. I'm stitching in diagonals. I finished this page over here, lower or bottom left. I finished the page up in here, so 2 rows of pages are done. And yesterday I finished that page over here. Something like that. That means I now have stitches in every page that's left. There are only 3 pages left. 1, 2, and 3. And in all of those pages there are already stitches in. I bring it a bit closer. Up here I did more on the dress, not super fancy, just the same old colors. Over here I did some more on the branches and in the background. And here I started 2 roses, and I actually started the balcony she's sitting on. I bring this one a bit closer. So I'm over here. I'm so close to actually finishing her. On a good stitching day, I'm not actually able to do a whole diagonal. It's presently, I think, 1,300, 1,200 stitches, something like that. That's so cool. That's so cool. And I plan on finishing her during July. Normally my rotation would be 2 days on any project, 1 day mini winter rose, 2 days on another project, mini winter rose, 1 day. I'm taking one of those 2-day rotations for mini winter rose, so she gets at least 4 days every week. And if I want to stitch some more on her during a non-full coverage day, that's fine. She gets another bonus day because then she'll be definitely done during July. I've put her a bit behind so you can see how gorgeous she looks. I'm so happy with her, and she's so close to being done. As I said, 3-page finishes over the last 2 weeks. That's super cool. And there are now only 3 pages left to finish. Yeah, she's gorgeous. I can't wait. I can't wait to have her actually done. She will be my first full coverage finish. She will be my first Heaven and Earth Designs finish. I can't wait. She will be my first big finish. Just because I like her so much, I bring her in a bit closer again. Yeah, that's her. She's beautiful. She really is. Okay, enough talking about her. As I said, she will get at least 4 days every week from now on, which should get her done quite soon. As I said, normally she has to be done during July. She probably will even be finished during the first 3 weeks of July. So that's cool. That really is. That means I stitched on her for a bit more than a year. That's fine as well. Yeah, we'll see. Or if I'm burning out completely on her. There are less than 7,200 stitches left. That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, enough talking about her. Starting today with a 2-day rotation, I'm going to stitch on Dragon Dancer because, as I said, it's a busy week. I don't have a lot of time. Dragon Dancer is a kind of fast project, and I'm going to start on this page down here. It's page number 12, I think. So my third page, that one below, should be 12, page number 12. That's what I'm going to stitch on today and tomorrow. Tomorrow, it's the 1st of July. For July, there are those 2 events taking place in the stitching world. First of all, it's Joan Elliott July. I'm going to participate in that one. And Christmas in July. I'm going to participate in that one too. For Christmas, the only Christmas project I have, I would like to get some more progress in. So I'm going to do that. I just showed you, it's the Tiny Stockings Ornaments by Basilla. As I said, I have 16. I started 16 during Stitch Mania. 2 of them are already done. One of them I showed you before. So I have 14 as whips, or 14 of those started. That I want, and all of those I want to finish during this year, or during 2020. Every day, every full coverage stitching day, so 6 out of 7 days a week, I'm going to stitch on those for half an hour. I'm not doing like I have 14 left every day, or every project gets 2 days and each day. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to go through them one by one and stitch on them half an hour every day until they are done, and then I'm moving to the next one. I have them in line like I started them during Stitch Mania, and I'm just going to show you. I won't show you what it's going to look like every time. I'm just going to show you my whips. So the first one is the one I already showed you for my travel stitching before. That's that one. Back stitching is missing a few French knots. So this one should be done really, or kind of quickly, and then I move to the next one. The next one is that one. this one, this one. Yeah, I'm trying to move through them kind of quickly. You've seen them all before in my other videos, and when I show them to you over the next videos to show you what progress I made on them, of course I'm going to show you what they're going to look like when they're done. But for now, I think I don't need to, because honestly, I'm not going to get to every one of those. Definitely not. But probably a few I should be able to finish, and that's all I want. As I said, 5 non-full coverage stitching days during July. On those days, I'm going to stitch half an hour on Cinderella Rex to Riches for Joan Elvie in July. That means she gets, or they get, 2.5 more hours into them. That's not a lot, but honestly, I finished my goal on this project. I just am not satisfied with how far I got, but nevertheless, my goal is actually finished. So 2.5 hours would get me probably about 5 more lengths of thread. Still not a lot, but some more, and that should be enough. And yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, and that's it. I think it's been long enough. I had a lot to show you, surprisingly, after 2 weeks. Again, next week, no video again in 2 weeks. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to tell you. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to get some more progress, and good progress, to my next video in 2 weeks. As I said, this week, not so much stitching, a busy week. I just hope. Yeah, that's it. I hope you have a wonderful time until we see each other next time. I hope you get some good stitching in. And yeah, if you want to, leave me a like, leave me a comment. I've been bad about replying to comments. I'm trying today or latest tomorrow to actually reply to those I did not yet reply to on my last video. I'm trying. Yeah, I hope you have a wonderful time, and see you next time. Bye.